이 시계는 T사에 입사하게 되면 지급받는 것일세. 신분 증명용으로도 대체할 수 있지. 하지만 무엇보다 중요한 건 이 뒤에 보이는 조그마한 태엽을 감으면 업무용 시간을 제공받는다는 것이지.
Well, there you go then. Greetings and salutations everyone, I'm Ekmek, this is Limbus Company. We've got our Bokgak for the time-killing time. 7:31 scheduled update error compensation. Certain things will cause softlocks, I guess. Ego Gift Omni Vibro Octovi Tovi Bell does not work properly. I don't really get what all of that is, but sure, why not? We do have new stuff, but I think we all want to look at the numbers for the new identity and ego, don't we? So then, 2 plus 3, so she rolls in... Wow, she rolls an 8 with an offense level of 1. Uptie 1 is not kind to Utis. Meanwhile, the skill 3 rolls a 15. If target has tremor count, trigger tremor burst once, then reduce their tremor count by 1. So at least it's not going to deplete all the tremor. And she inflicts some tremor count on hitting with her skill 1. Okay. Defense skill, Borrowed Time Microcavity. If this unit is not in Borrowed Time state, gain Borrowed Time at the end of the turn, once per turn. Apply 2 tremor count to self and target on Clash win. On Clash lose, gain 4 tremor count. Interesting. So it's throwing the same amount of tremor count around whether she wins or loses. But it's more on herself if she loses. Okay, if we knock this up to a skill 2, it gains a coin use conditional. Or coin power conditional rather. Same as this one. Okay, skill 2 is getting some interesting things. If target has 10 plus tremor, consume 4 tremor on target to apply 2 tremor count to self and target. If the target is in an amplitude conversion or amplitude entanglement states, consume 3 tremor count on self to trigger an amplitude conversion into tremor chain. So she's not going to get rid of the cooler tremor types to inflict her own tremor type. And if the target has lots of tremor count, trigger tremor burst. Turn end, if between 10% and 20%, instantly heal 80% of this unit's max HP and recover from stagger. If this unit is in borrowed time, gain 1 final power. Okay, we tune her up to skill to uptie 3. She gains her skill 3. Mace max activation. If the target has Time Moriartium, deal 30% more damage. If the target has Tremor, coin power. It rolls a 12, but the coin power pushes that to... Hang on. 12 plus 5 is 17, but throw in the coin power bonus, it becomes 20. After attack, lose borrowed time on self. Interesting. Gain violent collections once per encounter. If this unit has haste, gain extra tremor count from base skills. If this unit is faster, deal extra damage. Okay. Inflict 2 tremor count. Consume up to 3 tremor on target. Gain tremor consumed by 2 tremor count. If target has tremor count, trigger tremor burst, then reduce target's tremor count by 1. Consume all tremor count on self. Gain coin power for every 5 tremor count consumed. Oh boy, this sounds nasty. But it's coin start. It's only on this coin that it gains the massive coin power bonus. Deal extra damage for every tremor count consumed on to a maximum of 50%. So they're actually expecting you to get to 50 tremor count on her. Trigger Tremor Burst. Reduce target's tremor count by 1. If we had borrowed time, trigger Tremor Burst. If we had borrowed time, inflict 2 time Moratorium. You aren't going to get 2 time Moratorium back to back though. And her support skill will become the fastest ally deals more damage when attacking someone staggered. If we get her to uptie 4, then it gives us a sloth type on her borrowed time microcavity. Okay. This will actually start inflicting bind, it looks like. But wait, no, that it actually already does that. Never mind. Either way, it sadly isn't going to beat Mola Utus. Now, the other thing we have, the much cooler thing, is Mersault's Ego. It has an attack weight of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's crazy. It's Mersault, the guy who already gets so many blunt damage boosts, and blunt power boosts, and coin power boosts. Why would you give him this? If the main target had... Actually, wait, no. Oh, wow. It starts off with 6 attack weight. Okay, as I was saying, if target is 30 plus sum of tremor and potency, gain 1 attack weight. But if we have 100, gain 3 attack weight. They actually expect us to have to target 9 things at once. That's kind of worrisome. For every 2 highest resonance, inflict 1 tremor against all targets this unit attacks. But only to a maximum of 3. For 3 turns, lose 10 SP at turn end. Heal accumulated past times 2% HP. If activated, odd-numbered sloth resonance in odd-numbered turns, or when activating even-numbered sloth resonance in even-numbered turns, heal SP. That's cool. And heal accumulated past. So that's 2% all the way up to 12%. No, wait, no, that's a times 2, so that could be 24% of his HP back. Okay. On hit, inflict tremor count. On hit, inflict sloth resonance divided by 2 tremor count. If it's the main target, trigger an amplitude entanglement into the target's current tremor type. Fuses the effects of tremor type added by the amplitude entanglement and tremor currently on the target under tremor superposition. I don't know what it's saying here. Is it saying that it turns everyone into the tremor type that is currently being targeted, but at the cost of it'll all vanish at the end of the turn? This is weird. 2. On coin hit, inflict 2 tremor. Coin start. This coin deals 1% more damage for every tremor on the target. Coin start, deal more damage for every sum of tremor potency and count on the main target. Ooh, so as long as it's a target that has lots of tremor, it's going to absolutely rock everyone's socks off. Trigger Tremor Burst, reduce tremor count by 1. If this coin's effects raise the damage dealt by 50% or more, trigger a second Tremor Burst. If it was by 100% or more, which, let's be fair, it caps 100%, trigger Tremor Burst 2 more times, then reduce target's tremor count by 2. I'm not entirely sure if we're ever going to get a chance to see this sort of a pain applied, but it's still pretty fun to think about. Corrosion. 30 minus 10 is actually decent for it. There's a lot of negative coin skills that'll push it down far enough that it'll lose to a lot of things, and while this isn't going to win against a lot of Envy Pekatula based ego, it still has potential. Target randomly, deal extra damage for every high resonance. Highest resonance is Sloth, deal 20% more damage instead. So that's why there's a cap of 100%. If the main target has lots of tremor potency and can't gain 2 attack weight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh. His corrosion actually has the 7 attack weight. It's been a while since we've seen that. When activating even number sloth resonance and odd number turns. While odd numbered sloth resonance and even turns deal 12% more damage. Heal accumulated past times 3% HP. So 36%, a bit over a third of his maximum HP. Oh wait, no, this isn't a percentage of his max HP. This is just a percentage of his HP, so the amount healed is actually 36 and 24. Those are kind of pitiful numbers, sorry, my bad. This coin deals 2% more damage for every sum of tremor potency and tremor count on the target. Inflict 5 tremor and 2 tremor count. Inflict sloth resonance tremor count. To maximum of 6. Will the main target trigger an amplitude entanglement? On hit, trigger tremor burst 2 times. Then reduce tremor count by 2. If this coin's effects raise damage dealt by 100% or more, trigger the tremor burst twice, then reduce the tremor count by 2. Ah yes, 6 sloth, 2 lust, 2 wrath, 1 envy. Alright. Turn start. In odd number turns gain damage up. In even number turns gain protection. Does not stack with the metronome gift. Does not affect the instances of its effect applied to other allies. When using this ego skill, gain 1 accumulated past next turn, and gain 1 at every subsequent turn end. So you use it once, and then it starts ticking up. Using it a second time isn't going to speed it up. So it has to be a fight worth 12 turns. And the thing is, that's not the sort of combat I go into a lot. It's still very nice to give him an AoE blunt ego finally. Now that said, we have one thing that I never got around to dealing with. I never got the Encore ego fell bullet for Yiseng.
진호의 피로 점철한 넉마를 보고 손가락질하는가. 어리석은 자들이로다. 지상 최고의 비극은 오직 나만이 통감할 수 있는 것을.
He's not exactly someone who heavily appeals, but we'll see what he can actually do with Upties and show his Uptie story. So then, let's see. Deal extra damage for every torn memory on self, gain a torn memory. Deal extra damage for every torn memory on self, gain poise, gain more poise. Oh boy. Gain torn memory on a crit, gain torn memory. On hit, gain 2 poise count, so he kind of wants that clash bolt counter. Just so he can break even. Turn end, lose all torn memory on self. Next turn, gain torn memory equal to the amount lost, so it's to stabilize a buff that's usually supposed to fall off immediately. Okay, so Uptie 2 increases his speed to 3 to 6. See-through defense. Deal 10% damage for every torn memory on self to a maximum of 70%. At poise, gain coin power. At poise count, gain base power. So at the moment it rolls a 9. It could be a 10 or an 11. On use, gain poise count and torn memory. Okay, that's something that he desperately needed. And then a second poise count from actually landing the hit. On crit heads hit, inflict a bleed count. On crit heads hit, gain a torn memory. Punch through. At 5 plus poise, gain 1 coin power. So it rolls a 13, it'll roll a 15. On crit, inflict bleed. Crit, inflict bleed. And gain torn memory. Okay, fell bullet. If this unit killed an ally with this attack, gain fell bullet for the next turn, including with this unit's ego corrosion or attacks against allies. If this unit uses ego fell bullet and consumes torn memory, next turn gain torn memory equal to the amount consumed by the ego. Right, so if it uses the ego attack, then it is going to get its stuff back, but only at 6 pride. Fell bullet, max stack 1. Extra damage on crit for every torn memory. On hit, inflict bleed. On kill, inflict poise and poise count. It expires at turn end. For Uptie 3, 3 to 6, 4 to 7. Target readjustment fire. Targets the unit with the least HP. At 7 torn memory primarily targets among allies as the target. Gain 1 attack weight for every torn memory on self. Okay, hang on. At the moment it just hits the main target and a sub-target. But you can throw in 2 extra attack weight so it hits about 4 people. At 5 poise, coin power plus 1. At 3 poise count, base power plus 1. Gain poise for every torn memory on self. Lose torn memory on self times 2 SP. If this unit has 7 torn memory at combat start, lose it all. If this unit lost all torn memory and an ally is killed, heal 20 SP on self. This coin deals only damage to the main target. If the main target is an ally, follow the following effects take place. The main target's pierce resistance becomes fatal. Deal extra damage for every torn memory on self. Deal 2% more damage on crit for every poise on self. This coin only deals damage against the sub-targets. But if the main target was an enemy, deal damage against the main target. If the first coin failed to kill an ally, 1 random sub-target takes damage. Deal extra damage for every torn memory. If the first coin killed an enemy, deal more damage for every torn memory. Extra damage on crit for every poise potency. Extra damage on crit for every torn memory on self. Deal HP percentage the first coin removed from the main target percent damage. Ah. Inflict 2 bleed. If the first coin killed an ally, inflict 3 bleed and 1 bleed count instead. Upgrade. See-through defenses. He now rolls a 10. But the coin power and base power can be raised. On use, deal 10% more damage for every torn memory on self to a maximum of 70%. And it gains a coin power boost, which is nice. Rolls a 15. Could roll a 17. Actually, let's count this one out. 10, 11, 12. Support passive. 4 Pride Resonance. When the ally with a slow speed attacked an ally, after attack gain 1 damage up next turn, 2 times per turn. If the attacked ally is killed by this attack, gain 1 damage up for the whole encounter instead. Maximum 2 per stage per identity. Can only gain up to 2 damage up from the above effect.
임무에 나서는가? 함께하는 동료의 숫자는 몇이나 되는가? 총알의 개수를 세어보아야 하여 묻소.
Breaths of loathing, gestures shrinking, eyes avoidant, yet lips loose and leaking shrouded slights. All but sights and sensations too familiar to irk my heart. Indeed, I claim what is theirs instead, in spite of it all. I assume a frown as they do. My gaze in icy glower, they pay me this expression in kind, though it was something to be expected. I sense my expression drawing a wry grin against the current of people I walk and enter. Not the laboratory of the League of Nine, no. There is no warm, gentle sunlight penetrating through the glass windows, no wistful smell of old places here. What I enter is a cramped nest under the umbrella of a certain wing, its cold branches dead and dusk settled. Something about it strikes me as funny, that for me, words such as warm or sunlight were not associated with positive notions, that for me, words such as cold and dark did not register as negative. Did I see a brief glimpse of calm in there? It must mean that I was not made for the normal. Thus, I moved and nestled into a new place. The new League of Nine was a place where people who were not made for the normal, like myself, gathered. A place for those who aligned better with my newly awakened predilections. Among them is a fellow whom I had known since the warmer times. Another one who must have felt the same suffocation as I did then. Perhaps that is why the fellow's expression beamed with such glee when technologies I had toiled to truly hold my worth burst forth from this new nest. How long has it been since my research began? My memories have grown hazy as of late. Searching through them is like wading through a misty bog. Even memories of the recent past, even memories of my own thoughts from mere moments ago are so faint. It has already been months since I was given this ego gear. Much did I wish to partake in the extraction and adjustment of this gear, but Director Herman gave me no such opportunities. How has it come to be that research was read from a researcher, placed in his hands a ponderous gun barrel? I can hardly recall that as well. Another memory lost to the fog. Perhaps this is a manifestation of corrosion. I no longer feel any special emotion unless I'm shooting and piercing through things. From time to time I recall the pendant hanging from my neck and raise it to open it wide, but my bullet punches through my dear fellow. Perhaps he was a cherished fellow of mine to whom I had once bared the fathoms of my heart. Perhaps he was just another comrade in warfare, a nameless, titleless face I had once passed by in the same building. Yet their depths, cherished or unfamiliar, remain uniformly even in my heart. They are fellows of mine, or no better, no worse, merely fellows. Thus are naught but targets to splatter my bullets in 100 directions. This is not to say I feel nothing when I shoot through them. I feel the tightening pang, an ache on by my chest. Therein lies the vicissitudes clear and defied. It stings when they turn around with this expression of the betrayed, of the unexpected. It electrifies when they coolly walk up to me, when they stand their ground as if this was meant to be their role, despite the fear of imminent death that will soon swallow them whole. It first tingles before crushing my heart when they desperately flee, or when they fall to their knees before me and plead. In face of it all, I feel alive. In this life of mine, a uniform line, those moments are nectar. Is it sadness that's screaming feeling into me? Or is it joy as demonstrated by the twisting, rising ends of my lips that creep sans intent? Perhaps madness is finally tightening its hold on me. To put in writing these impressions of research and reminiscence upon technology was once where my talent lay. Yet even these fleeting momentary emotions are so clouded. My heart wavers, confused. In times such as these, I fire a shot. Splosh is the sound and red is the fresh paint of my target. The red spreads, blood madly geometricizes, bullets come flying from within. The directionality of the heart is now skybound, no longer wavering left nor right. I sense the friction, the shivers. My destructive nature wounds and breaks another fellow of mine, air pouncing on my foes. I grasp the bolt handle, its stench violent and metallic. I eject, then thrust another round into its chamber. Fire. I shall fire. I shall feel bliss as I watch the downpour of bullets. I shall guffaw as I watch the bloodstains spatter and dot my rags. Thus, those with memories of love shall be gone from here, and so too shall I. Is there anything interesting to be gained from a nub tie? An increase to the coin power and the base power, but it also raises the standard power of the skill so it goes past the 10 mark. Raise the base power of punch through, increase some coin power, increase to crit bleed. Raise the base power for I don't know. Gain 1 attack weight for every 3 total memory. Gain coin power and base power for the poise count. Deal extra damage for every torn memory on self. Deal extra damage on crit hit for poison self. If the first coin kills an ally, deal extra damage. Deal HP percentage if the first coin removed. Raise the power of his clashball counter. 12 is it still not that good. He wants the fell bullet, that much is certain. He has the stats to actually make use of the fell bullet. But I don't know, it's very hard to justify. Anyway, yeah, I've got to get started on this event now. Until then, guys, take care. I'll see you all around. Actually, no, let's do it with the music.